Hi everybody, my name is Hannah and this is Pepper and Pine, and today I am walking you through a form drawing lesson. I am with my 8-year-old daughter and we started this series quite some time ago. You can find the complete series link down in the description box below. We're going to be picking this up again after a really long break, so we're going to ease into this a little bit more slowly. Some of these lessons can end up being quite long, but today's lesson will probably be pretty short. Okay, so we've got our crayons here. These are the Stockmar stick and block crayons. You can see them over here. And I've got 2 sets here so that we can each use the same color and not have to wait for one another. I also have a number of main lesson books here, and these are the ones that we previously started. Oh, it is. You're right. I was actually going to use this one. Now I need to get another one. Oh wait, this one has some blank pages. This one.
Is not mine. That one's yours.
I think this one was mine, and I've got a couple.
This one's mine.
Is it? Because I think that one.
No, I remember you draw that thing for me.
Really? I don't remember. Oh yeah, this is yours. Okay, so this one is yours, but that one is filled. This one I think is your new one.
Yeah,
Okay. So then this one I think is brand new, except for the first page, which I think you had decorated.
Yeah, can you rip it out so I can do another brand new?
No, I can't rip it out. Otherwise, I'll rip out the very last page too. So we're gonna keep. You can draw over this, or I can give you a separate piece of paper and I can glue it inside. But this one will work on this side today. I'm just gonna fold this over so that you have room. I'm gonna move all of these things because we don't have a lot of space, and I'm just gonna continue in this one, which I do believe this was our last lesson. I'm really glad that I marked the page. Flowing lines. Okay, so let me also read to you you know what, actually let me tell you about this book first. This is called Creative Form Drawing with Children ages 6 to 10. This is workbook number 1. There's also another workbook and a couple other books in this series. I absolutely love these books so much. They're by Angela Lord. The first thing is that there are a ton of lessons, and in the Waldorf curriculum that we use, there are a lot fewer lessons, but they do span all the grades, or at least all the younger grades, so that you'll get a few lessons in every grade. But if you want to introduce form drawing outside of a Waldorf curriculum, I highly recommend this book. What's also great about this book is that at the beginning of the book, it's going to give you some pointers on how to actually do the form drawing and what other activities can precede the form drawing. And then for this particular lesson, it says it is helpful at this stage to introduce a new movement experience, flowing lines. These need to be drawn slowly and carefully across the page in related sequences, from simple to more differentiated. And then it says how many different combinations can be made, and can we draw larger and smaller loops, and can we draw them upwards. So in this at this time, what we could do is actually just draw the lines with our fingers and just kind of mimic that movement with our bodies. We can also draw, or rather walk, those lines on the floor. Those are really great pre-activities. You can also do them as post-activities, as a what would you call that? A preview of the following lesson. But as we are still getting back into these lessons after taking a long break, we're just going to dive right in, and we're going to just work on the simplest of the designs, just to kind of get our fingers moving again and just warmed up. Okay, let's go ahead and place our books sideways, this way. How about this way? And we can both use the same color, or we can use different colors. Awesome. I think this is your set. Do you want your set next to you? There you go. And here I go. Okay. What I suggest that we do is we do this line up here. Generally, you wouldn't actually show the book to the child. So I'm going to put it aside here. And there you go. And I'm going to tell you a story, if you don't mind, while we carefully draw these. And I'm going to choose blue, okay? I'm going to choose blue. And I'm going to move this over so that everyone can see what we're doing. And I'm going to start at this place right here. And I just want to also put it out there that this is not the best sitting arrangement for my daughter and me, because she's not in a very comfortable position, but we do want to be able to do this in a way that we can show you and share with you this lesson. So in general, I would have students sitting at a desk where they are comfortable and that it is child size. Okay. I first want to tell you a story. This actually did happen to me. We were driving up the coast of California. And the coast of California actually is not straight. It actually has lots of twists and turns, especially when you're going down a particular highway. We're going to call that Highway 1. And on this highway, after you finish doing your first line, you can come back in. And if you didn't quite do the line, or rather the flowy line as well as you wanted, how about I move this? You can come right underneath and you can try it again. You don't have to mimic it. I'm going to mimic it, but you don't have to mimic it. But we were driving down this highway, and there were twists and turns, and every now and then we would glimpse the vast blueness of the Pacific Ocean. And from the height of our car, and from the position of our car on the road, the ocean looked something like this. When we were a little bit close, but still far away. And from far away, the ocean looked like this. From really far away, it just looked flat. Actually, from really, really far away, all we saw was this. But as we got closer, the water looked a little bit different. When the wind hit the water, it started to look like this. And if we got closer to the water, we actually parked our car and climbed out and walked across the warm sand and got really close to the water. It actually looked like this. It looks so inviting. Sometimes I'd want to go and put my feet in. And where I put my feet in, the water sort of looked like this. It looked a lot more calm. We all wanted to put our feet in. But the water was so cold. So even when we just dipped our toes in, we would just shiver. We would shiver kind of like this, because the water was so cold. And if we got farther into the water, we might get knocked down by some waves that look like this. Okay. So since you did most of yours in this beautiful plum color, why don't we come back in and do some in blue? You can grab, there are 2 blue crayons. Do you want to work on the other side? Okay. Can work on the other side. And we're gonna work on the first curvy, flowy line. And we want the crest and the valley to have equal distance. Okay. I'm gonna do one for you here on your page. And I like how you did this so light, like you didn't like really press your crayon into the page. I'm going to do one for you, how the crest and the valley are kind of like equal distance. Okay, so I want you to come over the same line or right below it. Beautiful. Beautiful. That almost looks like the road we took. We were almost driving on this road right here and seeing all the blue right this way. Kind of like this right here. In fact, I think I will do that. So it looks like a road and all of the waves that we saw. And the sky above it. Very nice. Beautiful. Lovely. And then what I'll do for you, if you want to trace them below. Okay. So we're going to come up, and you did exactly what I did, only you did yours more curved, and I'm going to do mine more sharp. So it almost looks like a wave that's about to crash down.
I'm gonna try.
Looks like a wave that a surfer might love. And I'm going to use this blue or this purple here and just do tiny little wave.
Yeah, I did it.
Beautiful. You can try to make the wave a little bit more pointy if you like. It's okay. If you want to erase it, take your block and just go over it this way. Oops, that was the wrong blue. And go over it this way. And then what that can be is all the color in between this form drawing and this form drawing, which you'll have to come in kind of closely to get it. And then if you want, you can even do with a purple if you want to erase the rest of that so that you can't see it. Do you want to go over that a little bit more and get into all the corners and everything? Now, on occasion, oh, it's okay, you can stay with this one. We're just going to finish, even when you don't like it and it's not exactly what you expected, because some of these aren't exactly what I expected. We're going to go over it nice and slow. And when you don't care for it, I know this has been a while since we've done this project. Hold on, sweetheart. We're going to keep working on this, and we're going to keep working on this, and we're going to transform something that you don't like into something that you're more pleased with, okay? And so you can take the edge of your block crayon, you can take the thick part, or you can take another stick crayon. Now, the other day when we were driving by the coast, something happened when we were in the car, and you pointed out to something that was in the water. And do you remember what you said?
But it wasn't a dolphin.
It might have been. What did you think you saw?
A dolphin. But it
A
wasn't
dolphin.
There was people in the water.
There were people in the water, but it did look like a dolphin. And while you didn't see a dolphin this time, you might have remembered seeing a dolphin last time. Or maybe a whale. A whale will look different. A whale will just have the, almost like the steam and the water or the air coming out from the blowhole of the whale. But when we see dolphins, we can see that beautiful shape. Almost looks like this kind of shape coming out of the water. And I remember you seeing that. So I'm going to come back and okay, we want to go a little bit more slowly. This form drawing is nice and slow, and this is completely fine. I noticed that you're going from left to right, which is completely fine because in English we write from left to right, and in Arabic we write from right to left. And on some of these I went this direction, and then on the way back I went in this direction, and I think both are fine. Would you like to take one of your block crayons and try to go over this? Now you can take your thick part. You can take your thick part of the block crayon, and we can just keep working with those flowy lines. And we just want to go nice and slowly with it. And we're going to let all the dolphins rest under the water. They're just going to stay hiding from view under the water. Just want to take this moment to let you know that my daughter has gone off to get some water, and she's not super pleased with the way that this lesson is going and has rushed through a lot of the hey, you're back. Has rushed through a lot of the form drawings. So we want to kind of slow this down and go over some of these forms again, even if it's on the same page. I'm also going to grab an extra sheet of paper so that we can really spend some time striving for a higher quality before we put it into our main lesson book. Okay, so we're going to continue, and I've got a red crayon, and you can use any color you want, but I would suggest in the red, purple, blue family so they can all coordinate, especially if we're going to draw over what we've already drawn. At this point, you can either take the wide part or the short part, and we're going to go over some of the flowy lines that we've already done, nice and slow. Nice and slow, and you can even make new flowy lines. You're going to want to be able to have your elbow lifted so that you can really get all those lines going. I see you just going over all of your work.
Yeah, I don't see if you still see it.
You can. I love that you filled the whole page with color. I'll fill my whole page up here with color too. Oopsies, that didn't work so well up here. I can fill this part with color as well. Okay, so now that everything is filled with color, it gives it a nice backdrop to start again. So on one of the places where you don't have too many of the lines going through, let's try again to do, oh, hold on, sweetheart, hold on. We're gonna do a flowy line, but I'm gonna have you do something that I think might be a little bit easier. So you can choose maybe a space up here. I'm gonna recommend that you use blue so that it shows through a little bit better. And I'm gonna show you a variation on the line that we're doing. So can you look at what I'm gonna do first? I'm gonna do these rounded, this is like a very exaggerated flowy line because now it's almost all curve and very little line. It almost looks like a row of M's, or maybe the top of like a beautiful fence. Can you try that? Beautiful. Wonderful. Are you unhappy with it? Do you want me to get you a separate piece of paper? Do you want to just move on to another clean sheet in here, or do you want to practice on a piece of paper first? Do you want to get a new sheet, or do you want to just use the same notebook?
The same.
Okay, excellent. Before you begin, would you like me to start it so that you can see, because I'm running out of paper too. Let me start it so that you can copy along, okay? Okay, so hold on one second. You did really well with the line that looked almost like a row of fences or like a row of M's. So I'd like us to start with that one first. No, you don't want to start with that one? Which one would you like to start with?
That one.
Okay, so for this page, we're only going to do half the page. I only want us to do 4 lines and then that will be it, because I think that we're going to bring this lesson to a close. Okay, so how about we do a line of ones that almost look like M's. Nice and rounded at the top and then straight down, and try to come straight down and stop right where the last one stopped. So that almost creates an invisible line. And nice and tall and rounded, and then try to stop right where the line stopped before. Nice and tall and rounded, and then come to a point. Beautiful, it's beautiful, it's beautiful. Are you unhappy with it? Okay. I think we're just going to do one more line, and then we're going to close out this lesson. But let me show you the line that we're going to do. I'm going to take my purple. Beautiful. All right, we're gonna finish the lesson, unless you want to try it again, but I think we should finish the lesson. Would you like to try it again? You would like to try it again? Okay, this is what I'm going to do. You did a great job with that, these ones. I'm going to do something for you. I'm going to do a really soft, curvy line. And what I want you to do is come right under it with yours and just kind of mimic the same line. Nice and smooth, like the soft waves, maybe on a lake. And we're gonna just take these same colors that are all like within the same family, the plum and the blue and the purple, and we're just gonna go through it. I'm actually gonna go in the other direction because it's a little bit easier for me to follow the line when I'm going in the other direction, but it's actually a little bit challenging in other ways. Oh, beautiful. I'm gonna use the red too. And I'm just gonna go and follow the same curve. Over and over again. Trying to stay as beautiful. I'm gonna try to stay as close to the other flowy line. Beautiful. Thank you. Okay, so at the close of this lesson, I'd like to offer my reflections on this lesson. My daughter had a vision of what she wanted and was not achieving it in her work and was determined to strive to reach that, that goal in her mind, but was having a lot of trouble doing it. And as soon as she kind of started to mess up in some of the forms that she was doing, she wanted just a clean sheet of paper. And this is something that is, I think, part of the temperament, trying to achieve either perfection or an ideal that is created in the mind. And then if you're not going to get it, then you just want to start on a new piece of paper. And you're going to see this represented in handwork and in other parts of the curriculum where you're going to see that temperament kind of express itself. And in some ways, you want to support that ideal and that striving for something that the child wants. And at the same time, you also, in my opinion, want to support that it's good enough. Like you've done a good job. I think that's a really fine balance. You have to balance out, well, was it good enough? Did the child really put a good effort? And what my daughter wasn't saying on the video was that when I would say, that was nice, or good job, or something that was encouraging, she was thinking like, it wasn't a good job. Why'd you say it was a good job when it wasn't a good job? And I sometimes compliment the work itself, and sometimes I compliment the effort. And because it doesn't sound so different, it's hard for the child to really recognize, well, what are you actually saying? And I want to be encouraging in the process, because I could tell that my daughter was just really struggling with this particular lesson. Granted, we've taken a huge break from working on form drawing. She always tends to be a little bit on the hastier side, and I relate to that as well. We want to get done, and then we're sometimes not super pleased with the result. Sorry about the extra noise. And so my role, in my opinion, as parent and teacher is to help do two things. One is to help her achieve what she is envisioning. And if that means getting out a new clean piece of paper, I will do that. But I also feel that my job is to help her slow down, because I see her being too hasty. And when she's too hasty, she's not going to get the form that she wants. So it's a delicate balance, and children are very, take their art, especially more than their work, they take it very personally when you are making comments about it. both positive and negative comments. So a positive comment when I said, oh, that was a good job, she didn't think that was authentic. She, in her mind, was like, that wasn't a good job. But if she had worked really hard and it was a really messy form, but she had put so much effort into it, and I said that was a great job, she would have been, yeah, I put a lot of effort into it. Didn't look great, but that was, I put my effort into it. Okay, so I would encourage you in this process of form drawing to hone in on what it is that your child needs. And it's not just going to be something that you can see represented in form drawing. You're going to see it in other aspects of the education. And handwork is another great example of seeing where you can help each child's temperament get balanced. Okay, so if you'd like to check out some of the other form drawing tutorials, you can tap on the screen right now. That link is also in the description box below. Don't forget to check out the book called Form Drawing, Creative Form Drawing by Angela Lord. I highly recommend this book. And if you want to see how our homeschool is progressing on a daily basis, you can find me on Instagram at Pepper and Pine.